How accurate is what Ratcliffe actually said when he says that immigrants are beginning to colonize the UK? Now, when you first hear that, it sounds really offensive, and you go, "Wait a minute, these people aren't pillaging or are being violent per se in groups, not forming militias or anything like that." And it's not clear that there is, I guess, allegiance to their own country, literally. But there are cases of people that are sending money back to where they're from, and communities that want to actually impose their own laws from the countries they come from. Now, on the surface, I wouldn't say they are colonizing. No, no. Especially initially when you immigrate somewhere, you want to be around things that are familiar. A lot of it has to do with religion, language, and you want to be with people and lifestyle you're familiar with initially. But in the long term, over time, when someone lives in the country for so long, they eventually integrate. Because the reality is, there's not real power in diversity. The only power you really get is in community and unity and commonality. You don't get power from people, everybody doing different things all at the same time. You get power when people are on the same page on something. That's how unions are formed, things of that nature. They didn't form from people being individuals. You could look at the trucking industry and see how when people weren't on the same page, how division happened and how it got worse for the truckers. But I digress. I will look at this though. I will look at the definition of colony to see if it even matches what we're seeing today. It says a country that sends settlers to a place and establishes political control over it. So, if people are moving into an area, right? And then they start electing people who start wanting to literally change laws and establish political control, that seems like it's close to colonism in a sense. Because the group of people aren't trying to integrate. And the real issue is you want people to integrate. And when that start happening, people start changing the laws and having allegiance to countries outside of the country you're in, that's when that is a colonizer way of living and being. And the thing is, I think they need to quit going on about diversity and start going on about community, unity, and integration. That is where the real issue is. So even though Ratcliffe has said that and it sounded offensive, I could see the point that he was making, if that was the point. But that's what I'm taking from it. Because you got to remember, people, context and your interpretation matters. And in that conversation he was having, it was more of an observational statement than looking for a solution. Well, I would like to offer a solution, and that is integration, community, and cooperation, and working together. And if you're going to move into a country, you need to try to understand and be a part of the culture of that country. That means speaking the language and at least understanding the festivals, all kinds of things. That would be a part of integration. And I think that's the only way that immigration can truly work in the long term. In the short term, I understand when you're new to somewhere, you want that familiarity. That's normal. However, over time, you need to start integrating yourself and meeting people and learning the culture that you're in and participate in it. And that's where you get true integration. That's where you get the true power from immigration. That's when people from different cultures can offer new things, but they're not offering it to replace what you do, but to add to what you do in your homeland. That's my thoughts. I think that's the best solution. We have to stop talking about diversity and start talking about unity. A lot of that comes from politicians, though. As you see, that's what you hear. You hear a lot of diversity is better, is better. I never played I played basketball. I never played on a team where if everybody was doing something different, you won't win. Anything you do as a group, if everybody is going in different directions, scattering, you won't achieve a goal. What's that saying? If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others. And that's how you get progress. On that note, y'all take care.